All right, welcome to a little lap of the Winston-Salem, North Carolina cyclocross course. I wanted to talk today about getting started in cyclocross. Recently, a lot of the cross stars, and I guess cross superstars, have been having some awesome success on the road. And maybe a lot of people are coming from a road background thinking, how can I use cross to get better? Because cross has got a lot of skills applications, a lot of performance demands, and a lot of people can use it to get better at racing on the road or just get better at riding bikes in general. So whether you're coming from a mountain bike background, you're just getting into racing bikes, or you're coming from the road and want to hone your skills, there are a lot of reasons that cross can suit you. But enough for the pitch. How do you get started? When I first started racing cross, it was, I don't know, maybe my 10th race, and I just got a bike from a local guy, sold it to me, just the frame. I built it up, just had one wheel set, and I think that's actually a great way to start with cross. If you can find yourself a cheap, like Trek Crockett aluminum bike, an old used carbon bike, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Ooh, missed that. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get started in cyclocross, although you can. But the basics are a bike and a set of wheels and finding somewhere to race it. And that can be local races, can travel a bit. Doesn't really matter. But cross bikes are the most fun on a race course. Although training for cross is still pretty fun, finding a place to race them is probably the ultimate goal for most people. And getting into racing is really easy. You can usually find a nice local place, but to get started, all you really need is a good set of tires. I started on Ritchie Speed Maxes. I'll try and put a picture up of them. They're like a file tread, which for around North Carolina is actually a really good tire for most of our courses. You can see a lot of our stuff, especially at the beginning of the year, is really fast, not too technically demanding. Hey there. In terms of mud, but you need to be able to ride some sand stuff and have that low rolling resistance. So finding a tire that's a good intermediate, you can do a lot on. Maybe not necessarily a fire tread, but something like a Griffo or an MXP, like a good everything tire, like this front that I have on here, which is the Vittoria Corsa mix. That can get you a long way through the season, even if you don't have spare wheels or a spare bike. And you don't have to go tubular right away. Tubeless tires are good. You may have issues with burping, but some tubes in there and running a high enough pressure that you don't pinch flat, it's totally acceptable. And it's not really going to limit you as much as perhaps your skills might, or your particular fitness level could limit you in those cross races. The important thing is to get something that can do it and that you can grow on, and make sure you like racing cyclocross. For the bike setup, you usually want to make it much more relaxed, much more upright and controllable than, say, if you were to have a road race setup, which is where I'm coming from. Or if you're from a mountain bike, trying to make it a little more bent over, but you still want to be in control and comfortable. But a good controllable position with bars that aren't too narrow for you, but also aren't too wide. A stem that fits, but puts you upright. And your seat height can go down a little bit for cyclocross. It doesn't need to be the same height as your road bike. You do need, most of the time, to have a good pair of mountain bike shoes and pedals. I always recommend Shimano shoes and pedals because that's what I've ridden on for the longest and had a lot of success with. Other brands like Time make a good pedal too, that I know is pretty widely used. But yeah, finding a good set of shoes and pedals that you can run on. If you need to, you'll probably have to run over stuff if you're not coming from a very skill-based mountain bike setup with your experience. So learning how to get off your bike and run, and just general bike coordination is really important for cross. I think that's one of the things that really does translate well to road biking. Being able to get off, get back on, that's cool. Clipping in can help in road racing, but on-bike coordination, knowing what to do when you're in the middle of a corner and your tire loses a little grip, or maybe somebody chops you into a corner, is very, very important in road racing. And in cyclocross, you get to experience those situations and those interactions in a much lower stakes way because you're not going road speeds. Your chances of getting road rash or serious injury are a lot lower. And it's just really a great way to get into racing and the sport of cycling as a whole. The community is like the original gravel community. Very low stakes. Everybody's out there to have fun, and you always have someone to race with, which is just a great part of cyclocross. Moving on to getting your bike, you got it. You got your shoes, pedals, maybe you got some Lycra helmet, all that set up. Now what you want to do is start riding. And you can see I've got a nice cross training course here in Winston, but not everybody's got that. So what you can do, and what I started with, was just riding my bike around in the backyard. You can find parks, make your own courses up, watch some cross racing, see what kind of turns they might have. Because in reality, all those cross races, they're just in parks anyway. So if they can build them in parks, you can make a makeshift cross course in parks too. And just making corners that are gonna challenge and mimic other corners. Maybe start progressively, go around that corner at a speed you know you can, and then ramp it up just a little bit. Grass cornering is a very unique skill, but it allows you to hear the tire and the ground in a way you're not going to get on the road until it hits the fan. So learning how to do that on like a corner like this, you can start hearing the tire start to grip and get that grip point. just doing stuff like that, playing around on the bike, having fun with it, setting a day aside once a week, twice a week between your normal training, just to learn basic cross skills, can really translate well, especially in this time of year, to the next road season, where you just emerge with a lot more confidence on the bike and prepared, maybe in a new way, for the season in a physical sense, where this is the off season anyway, so you're allowed to get a little sharper, let that long-term fitness go down, and just play around on the bike. Keep it fun. Don't get too serious too early. We're a little redemption on the skinny here. Yeah, and just learn what you can. It's your first year across. Probably not going to be a superstar. Might as well enjoy it a little bit. I'm gonna be doing a few more of these videos. Let me know what you guys want to see about cyclocross. We're doing a good UCI season this year, so I'm sure I can apply my lessons to people a step below me, maybe at my level. But the main thing is kind of sharing my experience with cyclocross, so you don't have to learn the hard way. And I get to share a little bit of the cross training that I'm doing, because it is a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, all that stuff. See ya.